In a groundbreaking initiative to help South Africa get closer to the goal of attracting 21 million visitors, the Tourism Business Council of South Africa has partnered with world-renowned comedian Trevor Noah to promote South African tourism. The objective of the Best of Us campaign is to position South Africa as a destination of choice for global travelers. Before we find out more about it, let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Trevor Noah, and I'm South African. And because I'm South African, people from all over the world insist on asking me questions about South Africa. So, I decided to make an ad to answer some of those fascinating questions. Like, how cold and snowy is your Christmas? Well, Tracy, unfortunately, we can't afford snow. Nah, I'm just playing. We're in the Southern Hemisphere, which means when it's freezing in Connecticut, it's fantastic in Cape Town. Klaus sent me this one. Can you play golf in South Africa? Well, Klaus, we actually have some of the finest golf courses in the world, but judging by your 37 handicap, can you play golf? How many stars are your 5-star hotels? Brian wants to know, can I meet the lions? Well, I don't know if you want to meet them, but you can see them on safari. And get this, it's not just lions, Brian. We've got everything. There's elephants, there's rhinos, there's giraffes, there's buffaloes, there's leopards. Come on, man, expand your horizons. Ostriches. Is South Africa fun? Is it fun? Are you even watching this commercial, Michelle? Paragliding, bungee jumping, surfing, river rafting, shark cage diving, hot air balloons, hiking, cycling, wine tasting, whatever this guy's doing. Does that not look like fun to you, Michelle? Does that not look like fun? So, now that I've shown you South Africa, my only question is, when are you coming to experience it for yourself?
Well, there you have it. Now, to talk some more about it, we're joined by Tshifhiwa Tshivhengwa. He's the CEO of the Tourism Business Council of South Africa, who speaks to us from somewhere in South Africa, which is a bit of a play on how the ad or the campaign starts. Tshifhiwa, thank you so much for your time. As always, you know, I remember talking to you quite often during COVID lockdown. And we always had such bad news to talk about. But I know that at least just watching that would have put a smile on many people's faces. How has it been received by your members of the Tourism Business Council? Do they think you guys hit the ball out of the park and this is really going to get people globally considering South Africa as a holiday destination?
Well, thank you for having me, and good morning to your viewers. I think you're quite right. We came from COVID-19, where everything was bad news, where South Africans were restricted from traveling, and many international travelers were restricted from coming to South Africa. And I think this campaign that we've put out now, that we've launched on Thursday, I think it has been well received across the board. It has ticked all the boxes that we wanted it to tick. And of course, the main aim here is to make sure that we attract international tourists that Trevor appeals to, that would like to come to South Africa. So it has been well received. The team that has worked on it, it was a very short time, but they managed to pull something, that I believe is world class, that I believe is going to have a good appeal to tourists in our source markets. And we're already receiving lots of people saying that you've got to put, subtitles for those that cannot speak or hear English or understand English. And it's something that we will consider going forward. It's been well received. We still are going to do more onto this campaign because it's going to be a campaign that we do over a period of time with various, smaller ads that we're going to be putting out. And we're going to make sure that we reach the target audience that we need to reach, and we get as many tourists into South Africa as possible. So this is the beginning. And I know that South Africans love this ad. I know that they're going to share it. I know the trade will do the same, the travel trade, both here at home and internationally. And I do know that, it's going to make an impact on tourist arrivals, and it's going to make a dent in the 21 million tourists that we'd like to attract by 2035.
Let's talk a little bit about that, Kame, The Best of Us. Now, you released that ad just a week or so after we had our back-to-back world champion Springboks return from France. We heard news last night that the singer Afro-pop sensation Tyler has been nominated for a Grammy after dominating music charts for the last few weeks. Is this all part of the thinking that went into the idea that the best of us as South Africans really needs to be put front and center as we try and attract the right kind of attention to South Africa?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that, in a country where we have so many challenges, and one can have a laundry list of challenges that we have as a country, we also need to keep in mind that we have a lot of things that are good, and we work within the very same context, that we live in. And we need to make sure that we take what's best of us and we put it to the world stage, for everyone to see. Just like any other country in the world, all the countries have their own unique challenges. We have our own unique challenges. However, tourism has to go forward. We need to put what's best about our country. We need to make sure that what we have as our greatest assets are put to the world to see. And we invite people to come to the country. And this is aiming to do that. And taking out, if you look at what the Springboks have done in terms of winning the World Cup, you look at many other iconic South Africans and what they're doing, around the world. I think it's quite important that we continue in this journey. It's quite important that we put our best foot forward and we advertise what we have as a country, from safaris to five-star hotels to many adventure activities that we have. I think the world has to know, and we always need to find ambassadors and people who are well known around the world to convey this message, because people have affinity to those people around the world. So this is what we're trying to do, and we're going to continue to do so.
Of course, when I first watched the ad, when it dropped on social media, as these things all drop now, when it's first introduced, I said, right, I'm going to set my clock to it. The first comment is going to be, why is there so much Cape Town being featured in this advert? And my words weren't even cold, and the first few comments started coming in. And I suppose part of what you need to do is to explain to people, in as much as we're very proud of our country and whatever corner we find ourselves in the country, you are not making this particularly for a South African audience. You're making this for a John in Minnesota in America, or a woman who lives in Beijing who hasn't decided where to spend her money, or somebody who lives in Perth, in Sydney, or in London, or Copenhagen. That is your market. But the challenge, of course, is that when you introduce this content to the world, or campaigns like this, you do have to win South Africans over, but you can only please so many people, can't you?
No, absolutely. The ad that we've made, it's for our international source markets, and that's why the creative work behind it and the content behind it speaks to those that are in the Northern Hemisphere, that are, bringing as many tourists as possible into our country, and also tourists themselves. So it's quite important that we look at it in that way. Yeah, it's for the international audiences. And of course, with the, so much that we have to offer, we need to present our best assets, in the front. We all know that, Cape Town was voted as the world best city by a newspaper in the UK. We do know that, many of the things that we infuse into this ad are the things that people like to see and want to experience when they come to the country. And we've included many places. I mean, you've got safaris, that are based in many different places around the country. You've got surfing that's based along the coastline. You've got, the Golden Mile there in Durban being featured in terms of, many activities that you have. You've got hotels, although we didn't feature a specific hotel, but, the feel and the look, we try to feature that. Adventure activities, you've got the Drakensberg, you've got many places around the country that are featured. Of course, Cape Town, really stands out, and it does stand out as a destination. And many people like to go to Cape Town when they come to South Africa. They like to go to safari. So we need to attract as many people as possible. And as we go and as we move, many other iconic places, when they make it to the world stage, we will feature them. We'll make sure that we sell them to the world, and the world comes to South Africa and enjoy those, iconic places. But we need to put our best foot forward. And as we go and as we put more content out, there may be content that deals with, gastronomy tourism. There may be content that deals with sports tourism. There may be other content that deal with many other things that we have to offer. But this is a generic ad that showcases many things that South Africa has to offer and what people can come and experience in this destination.
Just before I let you go, is this kind of your organization also saying, ding, 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 summer's on its way, the country is open, come on over? What are you expecting from this peak summer season coming up?
Well, we do expect that many South Africans, first of all, will travel their own country. That's why there are many campaigns that are aimed at South Africans, like Short Left, Give Me Summer, and many others done by South African tourism. This one is for international, visitors, and we believe that we are showcasing, as it's getting cold in the Northern Hemisphere, it's getting warmer here in South Africa, and those that are making last-minute bookings, they should look our way. And also, it's going to work for us in the long term, even in the next summer, or Northern Hemisphere, summer, when people are looking, to go somewhere when the school holidays are longer. We are saying that come to South Africa, come and enjoy the best of us, and enjoy everything that we have to offer as a destination. So it's a long-term campaign, and we hope that it yields the results that we want. But the look of things at the moment, it's making waves across the world.
Okay, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for your time. As always, Tshifhiwa Tshivhengwa is the CEO of the Tourism Business Council of South Africa, basking after the release of their Best of Us campaign, or just the start of it, as he says, with an ad, a piece of content that's really making waves on social media across the globe. As, of course, it stars our world-renowned comedian himself, Trevor Noah, who proudly says at the start of that ad, "And I'm South African."